Hi, Chris Moss here. I find myself in France at the Dunlop test track facility in Miraval. I'm going to test their new Roadsmart IV. It's a sports touring tyre. I've done a lot of miles on it in the UK already, but I'm going to go on track in both dry and wet conditions, do some road miles and talk to the men behind the scenes to find out what's made it as good as it is. The new Roadsmart IV sports touring tyre is all new, and though it replaces the Roadsmart III, it's actually a completely different tyre. Roadsmart IVs have a different tread pattern, compound, construction and profiles. Dunlop claim the new rubber gives an all-round performance improvement, especially in the wet. It's a big boast, but Dunlop reckons the front gives 10% better wet grip and the rear a massive 25% improvement. They say that improvement should last until the tyres have worn out. Stronger for longer is the claim. It's arguable these days sports touring tyres are all you'll ever need on the road. Though as I found out, these Dunlops aren't just good at that, they're not too bad on the track either. Doing laps on Dunlop's soaking wet test track was an eye-opener, but the new Roadsmarts feel secure and predictable. Back-to-back testing against the old tyre proved wet grip is now better. It's a tough job making sports touring tyres. They need to suit a huge range of bikes, a wide variety of riding and work well in all weathers all year round. On top of that, they need to be durable and wear well too. It seems there's nothing the new Dunlops can't cope with. During the 2,300 miles I've now done on them in the UK and the fast road and track riding I did in France, I've asked a hell of a lot from them. By that I mean virtually everything from dealing with cold, wet mornings to fast lapping on circuit in the sun and everything in between. They've not disappointed me once. So Dimitri, I've done about 1,000 miles on your new Dunlop Roadsmart IVs now. Vast amount of that mileage has been done in the UK in all weathers, but I've done a hell of a lot of stuff here in France. You know, ridden on the road, ridden at your test track, ridden on your wet facility. Really quite impressed with the tyre, and for a sports touring tyre, it's got amazing performance. Now, it's clear that it's not like a cake, is it, that you bake overnight? This has taken quite some time to get this good. What's the story? You know, how long does it take to make a tyre as good as this? What's involved? Tell me the tale.
Typically it's between 2 and 3 years. In this instance it was a fair bit longer because it was a road with quite a few obstacles. So first we started out in 2017 with the design brief. So for that we do market study, we look at what the competition is doing, we evaluate the existing product and sort of determine where we want to go and where we want ourselves to be in a couple of years ahead.
What were the targets then?
So what we mainly wanted to focus on was an increase in wet performance.
Yep.
We were happy with Roadsmart III at the time, but then our competitors started putting in their best efforts. So we knew that in that area specifically, we really needed to improve.
What have you done? I mean, I can vouch for it. I tested the Roadsmart III, the predecessor to this tyre, against the Roadsmart IV, you know, back-to-back test on the wet track facility there, and I did notice the improvement. What's the reason behind that? Why is it better?
The key thing that has really allowed us to achieve this level of performance was the new compound. Now, it wasn't just a new compound development because manufacturing that compound was very tricky. So it has some things in common with wet racing compounds in that it's a difficult compound to process. So we had to invest in our compounding workshops, our mixing workshop where we have the Banbury machines. And so that led to an additional development time. So from 17 until today, so we're 22 now, that is an unusually long time. So the actual development started in 18, so in 17 we started with benchmarking. So that's always the first thing we do when we start a project. We determine which our competitors are. So we do a comparative test, the existing product against the latest competitors. And after that, we determine how much better we want to be in every single area.
I mean, in short, and it's very difficult to condense the amount of time and effort and manpower that goes into producing a tyre. You know, give me some figures. You know, we've said about 3 years. Are we talking about hundreds, if not thousands of man hours? Are we talking about painstaking work? You know, your test rider goes round and round that wet track. How many miles do you do on the road, you know, track? What sort of involvement is
tens of thousands of kilometers, actually hundreds of thousands of kilometers on road and in simulation. So there's a lot of computer simulation as well going on. So today, thanks to FEA or finite element analysis, we're able to pretty much have an 85% accurate estimate of where we'll be ending up. The rest is product evaluation by test riders.
So is every day a good day? I mean, or do you have days where
No.
things don't work, you effectively have to go back to the drawing board?
Exactly.
I mean, how hard is it mentally on you guys at times? Is it a real stress?
It's challenging, but it's also very rewarding. So if you get it right, and we know we're used to that. I mean, I'm on the business side, so I'm not the guy doing the actual development work. I'm the guy giving them stress.
So it's all your fault then?
Yeah, true. So I'll have to, me and my colleagues at the business end, we have to determine, is it good enough, or should the guys in the development department take it further? To be honest, they always deliver. Sometimes it takes a bit longer, but they always deliver. And one thing that we always, as Dunlop, want to avoid is to have an imbalanced product. So we don't want to stand out in one particular feature or area at the cost of others. So
in saying that, there must be an element of compromise, you know, in order to get more grip by using a different compound. Maybe you have to sacrifice a bit of durability. Is that true? You can't have everything, can you? You can't have something that lasts forever and performs.
You'd say well. That, you'd think that, and that makes sense. But if you think about electronics, it's pretty much the same story. So all things electronics have gotten cheaper over time, more powerful, smaller at the same time. So any wristwatch today has more computing power than the rocket that took people to the moon in '69.
But so, despite the fact this is a really impressive tyre, are you saying in the background we ain't seen nothing yet? You know, I mean, will the Roadsmart IV be even better, 6, 7 and onwards?
That is a given. There's no stopping progress, and we'll have to, because now we've come up with this product and we're really happy with it. But no doubt that our competitors are already working on their successors, and it won't be long before we start working on the next product in sport touring as well. So,
are you having a rest before you do?
No, we have some other things cooking. So yeah, we're working on a few other projects, important projects in different tyre segments, not in sport touring. So for now, we're happy. Actually, Roadsmart IV has been around for an unusually long time. So from 16 until today, that is an unusually long lifespan for a product in this highly competitive industry. And fortunately, we have gathered a lot of happy customers over the year who have kept on buying Roadsmart III. So, but things move on, so we can't rest on our laurels. So
all the journalists that I've spoken to today and the ones that we saw last night when we first arrived seem to be really happy with this. They think it works. I do. Are you happy?
We are very happy, yeah. Actually, the guys have exceeded our expectations, so we can't be happier than that.
Good. We'll leave it there. A happy Dunlop boss. I'm really impressed with the grip of the new Roadsmart 4s. On all roads and in all weather conditions, especially from stone cold and in the wet. For a sports touring tyre, they were impossible to fault on the Miraval test track, where I was pushing way harder than I ever could on the road. I like the way they make a bike steer, and the stability at all speeds and lean angles is spot on. I'll be getting my new long-term test bike soon, and I know exactly what tyres I'll be fitting to it. Well done, Dunlop, you've done a great job.